And welcome back to the Crash Team Racing Let's Play, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be taking on Ripper Roo's challenge to start off, and then we're going to go off to the next area of the game. Wait for this to load. Oh, Roo's Tubes. This is where Ripper Roo's challenge is. So of these boss challenges, they'll throw everything at you, but all you got to do is to actually beat them to the line, like what you did with the trophy challenges. Instead of the actual music, now I'm actually quite surprised that they actually added in the boss music of this game instead of actually using the actual track's actual theme, which is pretty surprising. So the basic challenge is to actually get across the finish line first before the boss does. And pretty much it's like the trophy challenges, only except that it's like trophy races, only except you've got to go and destroy the boss character. So all you got to do is to beat them to the line. You have to win the race, like what you did in the actual races. Pretty much it's the same rule, only except you're now doing it 1-to-1. And I'm nearly over this whole entire track, because this boss is absolute easy as heck. Ripper Roo is an absolute joke in this game. I did actually struggle with some of those boss characters, but now because I actually found out their patterns, I can actually, and of course the track layouts, I can actually destroy these guys. I can actually destroy them. And I did it to Ripper Roo. So yes, first boss over and done with. Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. And poor old Ripper Roo is on the floor, humiliated. He's actually rubbing it into his former employee's face. You'll need it. He's still as crazy as a coot, though. Oh, Ripper Roo is so crazy, though.
Congratulations on opening this new area. Here you will find 4 more tracks to race. Good luck.
Alright, so on to our next area. So where are we off to? Gemstone Valley. But I'm looking at the map, and there's nothing open. So you might have to get some more, you've got to get some more,
This is the load save screen. There are 5 of these screens, 1 in each world section. When you want to load or save a game, go to one of these screens. To access it, drive up to the screen and stop. Then follow the directions.
So that's what we get to do. Either that or either stop or crash into it. Just to be funny, though. Right, so after that, we have to, let's back up and let's go. Alright. Alright, we got Oxide. We got Oxide's door there, but unfortunately we can't get to it until we got all 4 of the keys. And we got 5 circles there. Those are the gem cups, but we need to get the CTR tokens, but we'll save them for later. So first of all, we're going to go off to Coco Park, Coco Bandicoot's home circuit. Alright, when it loads, we're going to get off with our next track. Coco Park, another easy track. One of the most probably one of the most easiest tracks in the game. Right, here we go. Alright, so it's not too bad. It's not, in terms of level structure, there's not much turns. Not much turns, and the track layout is extremely wide as well for a very short track. But of course, whenever you actually get out of the first area, you'll notice that the AI will start getting a little bit more harder. They'll try and everything to stop you. I think at this point when they start using the tracking missiles. So all you got to do is to throw stuff in front of it in order to stop them from actually getting you. Yes. Oh yes, Cortex. Here we go. Nitro. What have we got here? Nitro. Is that what I think it is? I will blow up that Bandicoot. That Bandicoot made me want to lose so many times. I'm gonna make sure that naughty boy never stop me. Yes, I do actually apologise for the poorly imitated Cortex Clancy Brown quotes. Oh, I actually seen some of the cutscenes of Crash to Insanity. You know the first one that was when the Cortex was voiced by Lex Lang. Well, to be very honest, I think Lex Lang also does a pretty good Cortex. And of all the Cortexes, I think both Clancy Brown and Lex Lang actually did a good job with Cortex. You can actually tell that Lex Lang was trying to be what Clancy Brown did to Cortex in terms of his voice acting. Well, he's rubbing it into his Bandicoots at rivals. Crash Bandicoot sleeps while poor old Coco's tapping on a laptop and pretty much sneering at Cortex for losing.
You can go faster through turns by power sliding. To access the power slide, press and hold the R1 button while turning hard.
Oh, the brake slide. I do actually use the brake slides for when I do. I only use the brake slide at will whenever I'm doing either CTR challenges or pretty much whenever I missed any crates in the relic races. But for trophy races, it's not necessary because that's what the power sliding is for. I think the power sliding is a lot more effective, a much more effective method, mostly because you can get boosts out of it. The boost slide is pretty much a very useful feature though. Alright, so next level up, Tiger Temple. And on the pole position is of course Pura. This is Pura's home circuit. Alright, here we go. So I think this is the only area where where a circuit is pretty much the home to certain animal, to all the characters, especially Papu's Pyramid, which is of course Papu's home. Papu Papu's home circuit. This is where we fight Papu Papu. Alright, here we go. Oh my god. No! Who shot me? Oh my god, it's that Bandicoot. I just shot Crash using a a beaker right in front of him. Here we go. Oh, it missed the beaker. What on earth? Ah. Sometimes the tracking missiles can be unpredictable. If actually used by the AI, can be absolutely unpredictable. No way. Yes, sorry about that. You just hit a nitro crate using a tracking missile. I use that to just defend myself as defense. It's kind of like what happens if you actually get shot by a red shell in Mario Kart. You pretty much will need to use that in order to... You need to use that in order to get... And I shot! And I just neutralized the engine like 2 times in a row now. Right. Here we go. There we go. Have some of that. And we won another race in Tiger Temple. Why doesn't he have that laugh from Crash Bandicoot 2 when he found a crystal? It's kind of like mind-boggling when he goes when he made a new laugh for this game. Or when he gets, or when he loses, he goes ooh, and he starts crying. Why doesn't he get annoyed easily when he loses? He goes ugh.
To get a turbo boost while power sliding, wait until the smoke from your exhaust turns black. Then press the L1
Yes,
button.
I know
If you wait
about
too long,
that.
You'll hear a backfire sound and miss your chance for a boost.
Which rarely happens, but sometimes which rarely happens when I play this game, but mostly because I actually time my which rarely happens because I usually time my I usually time it right. It's pressing the hot button. The other hot button. All you got to do is to slide around. One of the shoulder buttons you use to hop, you'll be using as a power slide in order to get through. So you'll be able to use the power slide effectively. So all you got to do is to slide around and wait till it turns black, and so you can actually get a chance for a boost. So you can boost. Indeed, no way. Can I use the jog? I'm going to use the jog. Oh, I missed. Oh, I missed. TNT.
Tiny squash beauty cars.
Sorry, Tiny, but you're not going to do that. Alright. So this is Papu's Pyramid, ladies and gents. So whatever. So this is Papu's Pyramid. This was actually in the demo version of the game. This is actually one of the stages that's used in the demo version for single player only. The 2-player mode was Dingo Canyon, while Blizzard Bluff was the 4-player stage playable. They also made changes to portraits as well, which is pretty much cosmetic. Because if you see there, Tiny Tiger, Crash Bandicoot's Tiny Tiger, Polar, and Coco actually had different portraits in the beta version of the game. Crash and Tiny had multiple changes. Crash Bandicoot had substantial changes. Tiny's portrait had most changes, while Polar and Coco actually had certain changes in certain areas. Had changes for the final product for the final version of the game. He had substantial changes. Now the Japanese version of the game, they all had their those who had their portraits changed were Crash, Coco, Crash, Pura, Cortex, and I think Coco. I could be wrong. The only ones that were left unchanged was Polar, Tiny, Dingo Dial, and of course, Engine were the ones that were left unchanged. The only ones that were left unchanged in the Japanese version was, of course, both Engine and Dingo Dial, because they had their original portraits. But in the Western versions of the game, both. Don't know. I think it's Dingo Dial and Dingo Dial and engine had their original power traits in the Japanese version in the game, while in the Western version, along both Cortex and Pura actually had their originals in the Western version of their original portraits from the beta version of the game. Pretty much they were left intact in this version of the game. I'm just saying that because there is some trivia. I've actually seen some footage of the Japanese version, but what I'm playing is actually the Western version of the game, which is pretty much the PAL version, PAL or NTSC version. And depending on which version you're playing, European, Australian, or US version, you pretty much have every portrait is the same. Every portrait are the same. The portraits are the same whenever you play the American version or the European version. But whenever you play the Japanese version, 4 of them actually were changed. Pretty much either to give a bit of a like CGI style, or pretty much like a 3D manga, or pretty much like that. Sometimes they can be crazy people, the Japs are. Well, mostly because of certain. Most because either because they're because of manga and everything. There's always people over there that are obsessed with manga. Not really that try to be against manga, because I'm going to try to get into mangas later on this year, but anyway, with that being said, this is Dingo Canyon, which like I stated, is of course the two-player stage that was demonstrated in the demo version of the game. Trying to get first place is a bit of a struggle because we got these. Now this one is a bit more hazardous because of we got guardrails and we got armadillos across the circuit. The armadillos pose a danger because if you actually step over one of them, you will spin out. They will roll over to the side of the track, which leads you to the danger of slowing down. Alongside that, you've also got unguarded areas. Some unguarded areas, which is nearby the which is nearby the start line, and you have to be careful not to fall off. It's after the fork section in the road. But other than that, it's not too bad in terms of difficulty. So with that being said, we're going off to we have now gotten off to Papu Papu's challenge. Another trophy obtained. Oh. Dingo Dao feels dismayed that he lost at his own circuit. And Polar is really turning his back because he feels he lost. It will be scolded by Crash.
Papu want in action to lay boom down big and prove Papu is world's best driver. Papu moves so
you think?
Fast, you munch drags.
That was a bit insulting, wasn't it? Alright, keep this in mind. I have actually cut out the lot. I actually made 2 attempts to clearing this because, unfortunately, I tried to take a shortcut and I fell off accidentally. Yes, there is a trick in order to actually save a lot of time. Well, keep this in mind, the last attempt was cut out. And yes, I will edit out any time that I do actually make several attempts to do a challenge like the Relic races or the CTR challenges, I will cut out. Because I do edit my Let's Plays. I like a certain person who does badly at games. I don't presume it's me because I am improving. It's just that sometimes difficulty spikes actually do get in the way, and it's usually not my fault that the game's difficulty is too much for me to handle at times. Alright, need to get closer to him while not ensuring not to hit a beaker. Papu Papu can be a bit annoying at times, mostly because he lays down so many beakers. And at times the beakers can absolutely hinder my progress. He actually has red beakers as well, which can be absolutely devastating. But once you're in the lead, it's a cakewalk. And I can't believe that Papu Papu used to. I'm not quite sure if Papu Papu worked for Cortex in the first game, but I believe he also, I think he led his tribe in the first Insanity Islands. Here we go. Oh my goodness gracious. I think I'm not going to get enough speed to get that shortcut. And with that being said, even though I had that boo-boo, I still won. I still won. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cortex rubbing it into the tribe leader's face. He's not very happy that he lost. Papu did. And he bashes his belly because he's not good enough.
Today. Maybe Papu not eating a big breakfast. You are fast for be so small. Here is key to help. Oxide is a bigger problem for you. Him not as big, but him much more grumpy.
Papu Papu. Now this is a guy who tried to hit me with his cane. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time for when we're going to take on the next area of the game. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in part 3 of Crash Team Racing.